video games, 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 video games.
It's November 17th, 2008, and you pirated World of Goo.
This is Idle Thumbs 7, and I'm Chris Remo.
I'm Nick Brecken.
I'm Jake Rodkin.
And today we're once again joined by Steve Hot Scoops Gaynor from 2K Marin.
That is my full name.
Yeah. So,
It's on my
exclusive reveal, BioShock 2, Field of Dreams. It's all coming out in a big hot scoop.
On your chest.
The hot scoops are gonna be DLC.
Oh, snap. So we're talking like $4.99 per scoop.
Well,
400 Microsoft points.
right. I can't.
What a ripoff.
The pricing is not my job. I can't speak to
You
that.
don't price the scoops?
Yeah, I mean, the DLC is unofficial. The scoops have not really been released. You're not going to put this on the internet.
It's an internet cast.
Could you at least give us like the MSRP of the scoops, if not the point value that Microsoft will assign to them? Because I mean that is up to them.
Intercast.
Huh?
Intercast.
Intercast is the MSRP.
Moving on.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Shut the fuck up. You can erase this part.
Maybe not.
Oh.
So I think we actually do have genuine hot scoops though. I think Nick has some hot scoops.
I have hot scoops.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm holding
Yeah.
them. I've been holding them for like a week.
It's gross.
It's really,
Believe me.
Put down
really-
the scoop.
yeah.
I don't know. Nick talked to Ensemble about. I don't even know what he's going to say, but apparently he talked to Ensemble.
Shit.
So
It's going to be a big surprise.
I don't know whether to build it up or not because I don't know what the information is.
Talking about Ensemble Studios.
Prepare
Yes,
yourself. sit
Ensemble
down.
Studios, the makers of Age of Empires, Age of Empires.
Oh, shit.
The makers of Halo Wars and nothing
Halo
else.
Wars. Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the makers of Halo.
Wow. So you used your video game journalist credentials to get time speaking with them.
Yes.
What happened?
Yeah. It was really depressing.
Yeah. Who did you?
It was the most downbeat interview I've ever done.
Oh,
Who was it with? Was it with?
It was with Graham
Devine?
Devine
Yeah.
and Dave Podger, who's
Okay,
the
yeah.
lead tech. And Graham didn't say much, but Dave definitely, man, they really gave it to Microsoft.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, they are clearly not happy. They don't understand.
Yeah, they're not happy they got shut down.
Well, not only
Surprise.
that, I mean, they're confused. They don't think it makes any sense. I don't know. I learned some interesting details. Like only 3 people have at the studio so far. They expected like 40 people to leave. So, I mean, there's a big group that's still there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, about
Only
half
3
the
people have left.
Yeah, and only about half the studio is going to go on to form that Halo Wars tech, or not tech support, but support group that's going to be creating content.
Do you know
and
what's
stuff
happening
online.
with Age of Empires?
Yeah, I asked that too. He wasn't at liberty to say. It's going to continue.
Yeah.
Microsoft is going to do something with it, but they weren't able to really go into detail.
Did you get? Do they have any? Did they give you any sense of why Ensemble as a studio is being shut down? If they're retaining a bunch of Halo Wars stuff and they're planning Age of Empires stuff, who would you want doing it other than Ensemble if you already have those guys?
They did basically the way that they explained it to me was that everything was going fine, and then a new there was some reorganization like with Microsoft internally, and then everything just fucking hit the fan. I mean, apparently it was just this new
Some scoops hit the fan.
yeah.
Some hot scoops dripped out.
Yeah.
Into a fan,
And I asked about
splattered on the walls of Ensemble Studios.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
This is my mental image of what
yeah, I mean,
went on that
thanks
day.
for interjecting.
They were hot scoops.
It just wouldn't have been the same without that image.
Hot scoops demand immediate.
The contents
so-
of a hot scoop was fairly ambiguous until now, at least in my mind.
Well, I think I introduced them by saying you had to put down a tarp first before dropping them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I missed that.
So
Anyway.
so fill me in on the backstory because I guess I haven't followed it closely enough. But how could they be shut down and also retain 40 head staff? Is that what you said?
They expected to lose 40 people. What's happening is, half the studio is going to, be let go, and Microsoft says they're going to try and offer as many jobs to people as they can. But I guess about half the studio, is going to continue with this sort of internal Microsoft development thing that's going to be supporting Halo Wars down the line with new content and stuff like that. So
a slice of Ensemble will
A slice of Ensemble
become
will-
a slice of Microsoft Game
Yeah,
Studios,
pretty
and
much.
then the rest of Ensemble, including the name, will be deleted.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
That seems so. weird. Like,
I know. And I was talking to them about the
synergy.
I mean, they're just sort of being forcibly absorbed into the internal like
Microsoft is
membrane.
they're trying to build up their
studio?
internal development a lot, but that seems so baffling to me.
Yeah,
like Ensemble was like a consistently successful studio. I mean,
I try to pull off pull a sense from
bit.
what do you think Microsoft's doing here, and just talking about the business end of it, and they were just baffled. So
you think they genuinely also?
So it was a baffling situation.
It was totally baffling. Baffled.
There was some baffling going on.
Baffling.
So
two-way baffle.
I'm just gonna weigh in here. So all four of us have said baffle. All right, we're good.
All right.
Oh, is that it? I thought you had an opinion.
No, I just baffle. That's
Fair
all.
enough. I like that word.
Yeah, I know. It's actually a word that I associate with you because you say it frequently. No one else does
Chris
in the world.
Baffling Ramo.
Yeah,
that's what they call me.
Chris Baffle Ramo.
Yeah, it's my name.
The Baffler.
Batman villain from 1968.
Man,
he was cut.
Goddamn Joker. Fucking, I was robbed.
Riddler.
Yeah. The Riddler. That should have been me.
Baffle me this.
What? Exactly.
That's sad though, honestly.
Yeah.
That is really weird. I asked I was just going to say, when I was talking with the Game for Windows guys, I asked them and they couldn't really answer because they didn't, I mean, it's not their department, but I said, it really feels like, and I do feel this way about a lot of the stuff Games for Windows is doing, where it's like, I feel like you guys are sort of taking with one hand and giving with the other. It's like you're doing all these things that you're trying to sort of pay lip service to PC gaming. And some of the things are genuinely good. I mean, I think, Nick, both you and I really like a lot of the direction they're going with Games for Windows.
Yeah.
But meanwhile...
Meanwhile, this is going on.
Yeah.
What was weird is I was asking them about the canceled Halo MMO. And I don't know, I guess, I mean, you guys reported this before anybody else, but I thought the circumstance was that, I guess we didn't really know, why that was canceled, whether, Ensemble wasn't happy with it or whether, turns out, Microsoft had greenlit it at one point and then just pulled the plug on them after that reorganization. And they had like 40 people on that project. And they were really happy with it.
Do you know when this reorganization happened?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really get a whole lot of specifics about like what exactly, like who, would have been responsible for that. But, I think probably 2007, mid 2007.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That sounds right.
What could have been the catalyst for that? Any idea?
I haven't looked into it yet. I mean,
they appear not to know.
Is there any chance of that stuff? Is it all related to Bungie going away?
I think Bungie went away after. Bungie was late last year, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but I'm sure.
But there were probably things in the works.
Yeah, they probably knew it was going to happen.
But the reality is, I mean, if anyone, maybe Ensemble was happy with the MMO, but I mean, if you go to gamasutra.com and search for Halo MMO, we broke that story with a lot of screenshots. We have a lot of artwork from it, and it did not look good.
What they said about that was that a lot of those screenshots were not actually in game. Like a lot of that was No, I know. But he seemed to be. He said a lot of people got really up in arms about what the direction of it looked like. But I guess he seemed to intimidated. It wasn't really what what they were doing with that project.
MMOs generally aren't objectively beautiful looking games.
I'm not talking about the beauty. Cases. It's just like it looked like. I mean, it really looked like it was just any MMO that they just invented. Like, now
he admitted that it was totally based on World of Warcraft.
The Wizard guy, I mean, it really was like Wizard of Warcraft or the Wizard of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was World of Warcraft with Halo stuff. And not even very much Halo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty derivative. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You seen many MMOs lately?
Yeah, right.
No,
exactly.
But I mean, it's sci-fi. You'd think they would want to stake out their own, something
like some science,
some fiction, maybe. More on this, more science, I guess.
Yeah.
Science.
The only
that's why I said it.
The only legitimately sci-fi seeming MMO I've ever been exposed to was Anarchy Online, which
what about Eve?
Well, I guess that could be compared to World of Warcraft at all.
Right.
Eve
what about Anarchy Online?
Oh, yeah. See, that's totally.
What about Richard Garriott's Tabula Rasa?
That would not fall in the same category necessarily. And Anarchy
no longer
Online,
Richard Garriott's Tabula Rasa minus Richard Garriott.
Right. NCSoft minus Richard Garriott. He's going he went into
John
space.
Romero's Gauntlet.
He came back and realized the futility.
Yeah. He went into space and clearly
he's got a blank slate now.
He's
Oh. All right, Jake is not amused.
I don't know.
I was also silent. You're not going to point that out?
You at least smiled a little.
I looked away.
Sorry, I was actually thinking about the possibility that Richard Garriott is now the host to some weird alien. Like he went up into space and a parasite is in his brain, then he came back. I am no longer interested in tabula rasa. I will now only pursue space and furthering mankind going into space. So, and then we'll all
to meet our overlords.
Right, and now so Richard Garriott is actually secretly a weird pod person.
He's like a body snatcher.
That's an awesome idea. I mean,
so Richard Garriott is now going to like unveil a crazy thing that will take all of humanity into space, where we'll all just have a weird
He can team up with Peter Molyneux and make a Nobel Prize winning video game.
Is this a reference to something?
Peter Molyneux declared something like his next game will be so amazing it'll win like a Nobel Prize for science.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
I love that guy.
He got a
he's back on the horse. He's back on the wagon, guys. Like here he goes.
Fable 2 is #1 on the charts for 1 month, and now he's thinking about Nobel prizes. Okay,
it was. I think he said that before it even came out.
He knew.
Really?
Yeah,
he could just tell.
Well, it's in pre-production. I mean, he's basically done.
Nobel Prize.
Maybe it's that game where a chair is made out of clay cubes.
Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Oh, that game that's all about
the
Emily
GDC
Dickinson?
game, yeah. Right. That he like tacked Emily Dickinson onto to fill in the Emily Dickinson game challenge.
Whatever could you mean?
I'm just
people don't need to know.
No one knows
this.
this. Anyway,
about.
Whatever. Were there any other hot scoops, Nick?
No, just some random things about Halo Wars, Nothing that's...
Some lukewarm room temperature scoops.
Lukewarm, just the fact that, I guess... Well, Halo Wars wasn't originally going to be a Halo IP, like they hadn't conceived it as
the
that.
War
it was just going to be Wars.
Yeah, no... no, I mean...
It's a sequel to Gun. What? They're ramping it up.
That wasn't the same company.
I know.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Just talking about a one-word... die.
Oh,
wow, buddy.
Dropping science
Big
and hot
buddy.
scoops.
Yeah.
Come on,
Die
man.
is science related?
Holy shit. Jake's on the warpath. That's gun related.
No, I'm just very confused.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
What? Anyway.
Yeah, Halo Wars,
So wait, what? I don't know that much about Halo Wars. Is it even still in production? Like, is Halo Wars still on slated, or did that get canceled or
it's
something?
coming out.
No, it's coming out for sure.
That's the last game.
That's what those people are still there for. To finish Halo
Swan
Wars.
song. Yeah,
it's
their
a swan song.
That seems like a lame swan song. Like
they better check that thing carefully for like gay pride helicopters and other such things. What? You remember? You know the story about SimCopter?
No.
What? You don't know the thing
I
about
played
SimCopter?
that game, but I don't know.
I
what
love
you're
that
talking
game.
about.
What about
you
it?
played that game. You didn't see the whole game.
Well, let me ask
I guess not.
let me ask this other question. Do you know that group called the Yes Men?
No.
They're like a performance art group that like basically sort of like Ali G. They convince like corporate conventions and stuff that they're like sales experts and basically just bluff their way into doing huge presentations in front of like hundreds or thousands of like corporate people, and they're just complete farces where they're basically mocking them.
They're also the guys who printed like the 1.2 million fake New York Times that went out last week. If you saw that,
I saw that.
The Iraq War is over. New York Times issue that they printed out
2009 or whatever. Yeah.
Anyway,
so anyway, one of the guys who would later go on to start the Yes Men back in like whatever 93 or whenever SimCopter came out, he was a programmer at Maxis on SimCopter, and he, I guess, was not happy with his job or didn't care about losing it. And so he put an Easter egg into the game where if you like flew to this one, or just if you were playing the game at like a certain date and time, and flew like down over the city, there were just like hundreds and hundreds of the little SimCopter stick figure people all out there like dancing around and waving like gay pride flags.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it was discovered at some point.
That's great.
So anyway, getting back to Halo Wars, if I could see these sort of like dead man walking developer being like, well,
time for gay pride helicopters.
Yeah, exactly.
No blood for aliens.
No blood for aliens.
Yeah, so they better comb that shit over at Microsoft's headquarters.
Yeah,
combing some shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, Master Chief is flying
in
on his gay pride
combing through the hot scoops.
Real quick, I want to since we're talking about Microsoft stuff, I want to tack on that I was talking to someone recently who used to work at Microsoft and worked on an early version of the Xbox, and apparently it was originally called the Windows Entertainment Platform, like in
the web
Sony-esque, like
great.
PlayStation 3 computer entertainment system-esque type of thing. So, too bad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's probably good that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it might not have been.
They went the other direction.
Xbox.
It doesn't roll off
Fucking
the tongue.
Xbox. Extreme.
On the other hand, you might have actually had, integration between PC and console games.
You have that now, games for Windows Live.
I said from day one.
I don't know if you would have. Well, I mean, the Xbox is basically just a PC anyway. You can build one of those things for less. It's going to be cracked immediately. You heard it here first. It's signed to the internet.
In like 2000.
Yep. 8 years ago, some guy said that.
Yeah.
It was hopefully not me.
But I don't know. It would, I could see an alternate history where, the Xbox sort of embraced the Windows platform more and PC games would be doing better now, maybe. Sort of,
Wake up from your dream.
If the Xbox is like an extension of the PC as opposed to a totally separate thing.
Right. Yeah,
maybe not.
It would have been an interesting direction for it to go. If they would have tried to essentially make it a standardized PC?
Yeah, more or less. It's like, here's our little, soldered shut PC box.
Soldered?
Yeah.
Soldered.
Soldering.
Okay.
Solder.
Yeah.
What? So,
col-on-el. Are you a colonel in the army?
No. So SOLDER is pronounced soldered?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Really?
All right.
Secrets.
I just learned the word I had only heard spoken met a word I'd only seen written, and they were one and the same.
Oh man, that's the best. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so anyway, yeah. It was basically just like, here's a little PC that will only play these games. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect that they did not name it that in part for that very reason.
Yeah.
Because they wanted it to be its own platform. Kind of like how the Zune is not the Microsoft portable music player. Because
Right. And look at what a smashing success it is.
well, okay,
Yeah.
So Allard's batting 500.
Allard, that would have made a good teaser, little intro thing.
Allard.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hate him.
Wow.
I love him.
So, Steve, you
More
had
like J.
you had
Allen,
hot
the
scoops to
podcast.
drop.
It wasn't a hot scoop. It was just a topic that I remembered that happened this week.
Yeah.
Your boss broke this thing, the Pixel Vixen 707,
Oh, yeah.
being a semi-false human.
Yeah.
That was sort of interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because
What is this now?
okay, so yeah,
It's a Pixel Vixen 707, implying that this Pixel Vixen is from Sonoma County. Area code
Is that the area
707.
code?
that
That'd be
that
hilarious.
makes sense. I guess. I mean,
I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of.
Silicon Valley kind of thing.
Extreme investigative journalism happening
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
yeah.
My
front of
area
your
code.
face.
So for Nick's benefit,
For Nick's benefit, 707
Probably
is,
for the benefit of
Santa
Mr.
Rosa,
Nick.
California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
right. So I guess it's semi weird because there's this whole little mini ring of sort of video game analysis and theory blogs,
Like a web ring?
sort of, yes.
Oh man, web rings.
that all link to each other
Web rings ain't my
and
balls.
stuff like
Right, like a web ring links.
yes.
The link list.
Holy shit.
Geo-
Blog
sites.
roll.
Anyway.
Right. So
Webring. Yeah.
so anyway,
Yeah.
so sites like whatever Brainy Gamer and Lee Alexander's blog and Chris Dale and all those sorts of people who kind of write analytical stuff
Right,
about
right.
video games. And there's this person who had been commenting on all their blogs and sending them emails and stuff for a while, as if they're just a person who was also interested in the discussion. And maybe she had her own blog as well, but her handle was Pixel Vixen 707. Everybody's just like, oh, that's a good commenter. Interesting thing. I'll reply to you and whatever. And last week, Simon Carlis at Gama Sutra posted a thing where I forget the exact lineage, but I'll just put in the abstract that somehow he got an email from someone saying that what was it? Do you remember the exact connection?
No, it was convoluted.
Yeah, but anyway, it basically connected Pixel Vixen 707 with the alternate reality game advertising firm that created I Love Bees and stuff like that. And so this person who just for the last year had kind of been dwelling and commenting in this semi-obscure video game blog circle turned out to
you might call it a blogosphere.
right turned out to be I guess just a game theory blogger that they paid to get interest in her, and then they were going to throw off a thing like now it's because people started to be suspicious because her latest blog posts were about like her brother working in an insane asylum or something.
It was one of those things where it started to like turn into an internet drama,
right?
And it's like, wait a second,
and then it turned out, actually advertising, and some people felt duped and like
betrayed,
slighted, kind of. But I don't know.
Seymour super duped.
So I guess
that's how I feel.
So yeah, I guess it's sort of the sign of all good ARGs that they start out in a weird, subtle, obscure place. But this blogosphere, it's an odd thing to happen in my mind.
Yeah. It was such a weird, specific community.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess it was some sort of semi-calculated thing where it's like, well, these are people that would
probably like
slap it up.
Yeah. Or just like
Argtacular.
The readers of this weird little blog circle are people who are into stuff enough to want to investigate an ARG. Like, but yeah,
they investigated a little too much.
They got investigated instantly.
Dug too deep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess on some level it points to kind of ARG backlash, where people kind of
ARG backlash.
Pirate
Pointing
backlash.
the terms.
But just it seems like people were not that happy that they didn't know it was an ARG from the outset, whereas ARGs seem really popular when it's just sort of blatantly like
a puzzle to solve.
Yeah. Here's an ARG. Have fun with it, as opposed to like, wait,
enjoy
a fake person,
ARG.
You tricked me,
yeah,
kind of thing.
Trying to create some sort of
my best
alternate
friend.
reality.
Video game, ARG.
Whoa! Steve's face is ripped in half.
Well, and an ARG came out.
I'm a more ARG. Man, it's the world's coming to. Yeah.
That actually reminds me of that post by Duncan and Marin on Hit Self-Destruct about turning games journalism into an ARG.
I haven't read that yet.
It's kind of like clearly
on this week's Idle Thumbs, we will relate to you things we have read.
Well, sorry. It was a good post. I mean, it was sort of a cynical, facetious thing, but it was basically about how games journalists go like batshit insane deciphering like the like hidden text that you find when you do a level adjust on like the Halo Recon thing.
Right, yeah.
But if there's an actual like piece of investigative journalism, no one will go near it. Like Merrick, the example they gave was the NCSoft Europe thing where that division was shut down and there was a huge power shift from the Garriotts to Arena.net, and all the major story was like new MMO from NCSoft or whatever, and it was so
nobody really looked into
the actual story.
So they're talking about like
politics and a whole lot of people losing their jobs.
Yeah, it was an amazing power shift and huge layoffs, and it was like NCSoft refocuses a thing. There's real news also.
Yeah, it was like something big happened that affected a lot of people in the industry that you're covering. I think I'll just repost the press release about the new product. Hot scoops. Doink. Wow. Great.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
Sweet. Senor Super Douche, stop doing interviews. And if I see you one more, you will alert for Call of Duty 4. Because of an interview you did. I'll flip my lid. Please, Senor S. Douche, stop doing interviews. Seriously, man. You're killing me. You're killing me. Interview about your own game. Not ours. Not ours. Call of Duty, World of War can stand on its own merits. On its own. Like this gem of a quote from today's article on CVG. On the internet, in the previous Call of Duties, it might take 3 or 4 shots from a bolt-action rifle. And what the fuck are you talking about? In previous Call of Duties, blah blah blah. You didn't work on previous Call of Duties, so don't talk as if you're down with how/why things were designed the way they were. You don't know anything about my And secondly, you're completely fucking wrong.
Oh snap! And to the press, please stop talking to this guy. Talk to someone on the team. Or your interviews will be full of lies. Senor Super Douche, you're pulling shit out of your ass. Stop.
Oh my god.
Oh
Good.
man, yeah,
Yeah.
sweet.
That was an outstanding ending.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Steve. That was a hot scoop you just dropped there.
Oh man,
I appreciate
Steve,
it.
proud of Chris.
Kotaku headline: Steve, proud of Chris.
Who knows? Question mark? Oh no, it's a mystery. Yeah.
What do you guys been playing this week?
Far Cry 2 and Fallout 3.
Oh no! I actually haven't been playing Far Cry 2 because of Fallout 3.
You have declared that is your favorite game of all time, right?
I have to acknowledge that it is.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
like, I was just vetting it against my own brain for quite some time because the
Yeah.
thought came in. And
Your
I was
brain,
like,
which is the
wait,
better game, My
Mario
Brain or Fallout?
I was just like, well, I'm thinking it's my favorite game ever. Could that be right?
What about
and
that one
I couldn't
game?
deny it.
Yeah.
It is that one game.
Oh,
Oh man,
Oh,
you just
snap.
know
funny how that
you just
works
know.
out.
Yeah. I mean, I've found no plausible way to deny that it is. So it is. I mean, it comes out of half being a really good open world RPG that is just well designed, and half from nostalgia because I was a super fan of Fallout
Of
1.
Oblivion. So when they added guns, you were like, wow,
Zing,
this
zing,
is
zing,
like
zing.
brings back so many memories of when there weren't guns.
Yeah.
That joke's never been made on this podcast
Actually, I don't think
this
it has.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it has.
Downloadable dog armor. No, of Fallout 1, you know, because
Yeah.
like back in high school, for whatever reason, it was that game I was super psyched on before it came out. Like I had dog-eared copies of video game magazines with
Yeah.
Fallout articles in them and stuff, and it was awesome. And then
Dog meat eared.
yes, good work. And Fallout 3, because it's like a direct sequel that they tried to stay very true to the original games with, it just feels like, yeah, the realization of
Feels like
So
Fallout
you
3
disagree with the internet that about
that it's not really Fallout or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I can't.
The internet
I can't
says
imagine.
that?
Yeah, I can't
Oh, yeah.
imagine how anyone
They're saying that?
would objectively
Well, I've
play
even
that
seen-
game and be
yeah.
like, "This isn't Fallout."
I've seen
It
a
says
lot of people.
everything
I've seen a lot of people who are like,
that-
"This is a great game, but it's no Fallout."
Like,
I think that's just something to say. Like,
I
that,
think
like
it
that's
is-
just
no,
like the
I
easiest thing
agree.
they could like
No,
come up. Like,
that's true, yeah.
I gotta criticize this game somehow.
yeah,
How
like,
can I do it?
Well,
it
it's
makes
certainly
you.
no Fallout.
Yeah, it makes you like sort of on the
That was a good
surface
face.
seem like you are more
Like, you
knowledgeable
might
than
be
people who
informed,
would say.
yeah.
that
Like
it
you're
was
the one who
Fallout.
noticed the little things that made it Fallout.
Right.
That Bethesda just
Yeah.
didn't get. They
Yeah.
just didn't get it.
Like,
They just bless their hearts. They tried.
yeah, I played both
Oh.
Fallouts on release day and loved them, and I will declare that Fallout 3 is Fallout. It actually is.
I
Like, it contains so many touchstones from the original game as far as just equipment and concepts and
Yeah.
organization, blah, blah, you know, all of the IP kind of stuff, Death Claws, whatever. And also,
super mutants.
yes. And seems to, in my opinion, really kind of get what
Mhm.
made
Yeah,
Fallout
I completely
interesting.
agree.
So,
Yeah.
What
And
would have
guns
killed it
were
for
in
me is if the
I
quest
shot
and
him in.
stuff. You know, if the dialogue had been under par, that was my.
Well, I see that a lot. I'm seeing
Yeah.
people like, man, they just couldn't get the dialogue
Oh,
up to
see,
par.
I disagree. I think that's.
No, I
I,
agree,
think that's. I
yeah.
think that's the reason why it feels like Fallout to me. is
That
because
was
they
actually-
they didn't
yeah.
drop the ball on that.
I
part.
agree. Like,
Yeah.
and the amount that they improved it over Oblivion
Yeah,
is
it's
like
just astronomical.
astonishing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is that they didn't go overboard with trying to make it, you know,
Right. Yeah, they
super
didn't do it,
overwrought,
yeah.
But it's also like it has character.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, they rode the line of it being
Well,
like concise and direct, but also interesting.
You also
Right,
don't want to
so,
go
yeah.
super over the top in a world like Fallout 1 and 2 are a lot more representational of a world visually than Fallout 3. I mean, I think a lot of
You mean it's like more a more abstract,
Impressionistic.
I mean,
like
yeah,
that,
in,
yeah,
well, just in terms of in terms of like sort of stylization of dialogue, when it's
Sure.
actually coming out of someone's mouth, you can't
Yeah.
it would be retarded immediately.
Well, there was voice dialogue in
Was
the
there?
original
Yeah.
Fallout.
I don't fucking
It
play
wasn't,
games.
but it wasn't across
Maybe
the
I
board.
played it on a
Like,
shitty
No, it was the
old
key. It
computer
was the
when I
key
played it.
characters.
right. In
Yeah,
Fallout
and-
3, everybody's voiced,
there
whereas in the
were-
original
yeah.
Fallout,
That's a big
There were certain
challenge.
guys in the
I
original
mean-
Fallout games who had awesome claymation faces.
Yes,
they were
yeah,
the
yeah.
that
They
had
did.
voice
Wow.
yeah, that's
dialogue.
true. Yeah.
That sounds like a
And they-
Including
Yeah,
Richard
they-
Dean Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah, and Keith
Oh,
David
man.
was in that too. Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah. He was your super mutant friend, right?
No, who? I don't know who that is.
Keith David is the guy who was the main gargoyle in Gargoyles. That
Oh man!
My favorite guy.
No. He does a lot of stuff. I can't
he's
really
done.
think of
He's
anything
been in a
off
lot
the
of
top my head,
movies and done a whole lot of voice
Yeah.
acting.
That's cool.
but you would recognize his voice instantly. But
He's a God. Yeah.
Oh,
what,
man.
what movies has
Do
he
you
been
guys-
an actual actor in? The only one I can pull off. The top
he always
of my
plays like a
head-
general or some guy who's
Well,
like
he-
Mr. President.
He played. He played.
Turn your key.
He played
Ninjas have
the like kind of like pimp guy in Requiem for a Dream
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that exploited
yeah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yes, the
pimp guy.
Oh, my
ass to
favorite
ass.
guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does the guy who played Batman in the animated series, is he in Fallout 3?
I don't know who
Because
that
I've had a few people ask me this, and I don't know what to tell them.
Wait, is this a serious question? Or are you
Yes.
making fun of me identifying
No.
this guy by his role as the main
I've literally
gargoyle?
heard like this hypothesis, floated a number of times.
Because the guy who played the Joker in the Batman series is in Star Wars. I don't know if you heard about that shit.
I did hear about that guy.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
No.
No.
So no, I don't know who.
I thought you were actually going to say
Like, a
full
lot of-
throttle and skip Star Wars entirely.
A lot of people have postulated that he's like one of the sort of security. Like, there's a security guard voice that's
Oh.
duplicated
Oh,
amongst
yeah.
a lot of
Oh.
security
Oh
guards.
yeah, that's Batman.
You were.
I can't
full
ever
of
tell
shit.
if you're full of shit or
I
not.
have no idea.
I
didn't
can
know
tell
that.
if he was. I don't know. Check IMDb.
Yeah,
Well, that doesn't have it on IMDb.
Oh really?
They don't list all the bit parts.
Huh.
it's probably
But
Batman.
they don't even list all the voices.
Maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't looked enough.
I don't know. I was just watching the credits, 2 days ago, and they
And you
seem
saw
to list
Batman.
a whole lot of voice
Okay,
actors.
well, maybe it
even
is.
for like
Someone can write
security
in. Maybe
man.
we're just way behind the ball. We don't know anything.
But my advice is just roll with it. It's
cross of
Batman.
a metaphor.
Clearly, it's Batman.
I like that.
But there
mixed
is
metaphor.
there is a security guard dude who's just like a minor dude who is they use his voice all over the
Yeah,
place
yeah.
for security guards, and he's like the most classic like I can't help you right now.
Oh, that guy.
I'm on duty.
Oh, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, in the game.
Please take this up with my superior.
Yeah, I recognize. I
The
know which guy you're
wizard.
talking. Whoa, that guy is a wizard's apprentice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The wizard. Who'd have thought?
Can you make me a whole lot of
When they
runes?
added the guns to Oblivion, they forgot to remove the wizards.
and that's where
Big oversight.
Blizzard got
Yeah.
the idea.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world.
Blizzard is like, oh man, look at this guy they've got in Fallout 3. That'd be a sweet character to include in our video game.
New Diablo 3 class, the security guard. What? Get ready for that.
The super mutant.
But anyway, yeah, I'm super happy with how Fallout 3 turned out.
Yeah, no,
Just
it's
'cause
fantastic. Yeah.
it's the kind of game that I wanted to be really good, and I don't know, as
Your dreams were fulfilled.
yes, my dreams were fulfilled, and endorphins flowed through my body.
Resulting in
get
scoops.
vulgar.
I just you play so many games where it's just like, well, yeah, you play it and it's okay, and then something about it is kind of fucked up
Yeah.
or pisses you off. You're like, well, this is a pretty good game, except this sucks or whatever.
Yeah.
And really, in Fallout 3, except for it's kind of unstable on PC, like it crashes
And
sometimes.
the animations are kind of janky.
I really have not had a problem with the animation.
I don't like that. I can't stand the animation.
Like, I mean, they're fairly low fidelity,
They're so
but there's
robotic,
so
too.
many characters. Like,
No, I don't
know.
hold it against them as a developer. I just,
Yeah.
it's just, it's
I think
one of the
I think
things
it's something
about.
I don't connect with very strongly.
Yeah,
like,
fair
I
enough.
think,
Yeah,
I
it
think
doesn't
fidelity of
bother me very
animations doesn't really ever cross my mind unless it's like super ridiculous, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Like, wait, that
Yeah.
guy's just just like doing a walk pose and sliding across the ground, you know?
Well, it does happen when you start walking in Fallout 3.
Oh, I always have it zoomed in to like
Zing!
I know.
Gears of War.
And
kind
I
of.
played in first person, so it doesn't even matter to me. But I mean, I've seen, but I mean, I only,
One guy probably saw that and he
No,
was pissed.
I'm just
Yeah.
bringing it up because he specifically
I mean, to
mentioned
be
the thing.
fair, I do play it in third person because I really like seeing the
Really?
character and being in the world. But I always
Well, that's
zoom
right,
it
you're
in
the third person
to
guy,
to
yeah.
basically like waist up. And I do basically zoom it in so I see my character from the waist up because the IK on the feet is and feet
right.
movement is kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's true. But I mean, like
No,
stuff
but-
like that aside, as far as like design decisions, like
Yeah.
oh man, that game would have been perfect if it wasn't for this stupid design. Like
Yeah.
it's just a really super solidly designed RPG. I'm
Yeah.
super impressed by it.
I don't find anything about it deficient.
Yeah.
And it's also like, again, just to compare it to Oblivion, because obviously the Oblivion comparisons are never ending, but I really just have to say, like, I really could not get into the world of Oblivion at all. It was my least favorite thing about that game by a long shot.
Yeah. It's just
And in
very
Fallout
generic.
3, I find myself like delaying my progress in the main quest just so I can walk around the world, find new shit, like uncover
that's
places.
the other part of why I'm so psyched on it, is just because the setting is so much more interesting to me than the vast majority of other RPGs.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
maybe I'm just I think my tastes are sort of go towards grounded stuff, where I really like a game that's as open structured and deep as an RPG, but that has guns and actual places in it, you know? You know, I do find it hard to kind of connect with high fantasy or high sci-fi, but sort of this very low sci-fi is enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
Takes place in our world in a different time, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
A different time.
In a world.
Wizard. Yeah.
In a world where bombs exploded and then you drank a soda. Fallout 3.
Guns.
Yep.
No, it's a good game though. I'm excited about it.
No, I was just like you, where I delayed my progress in the main quest, like to the point where I hit the level cap when I was like halfway through the main quest, and I was like, oh, I guess I might as well finish that story, you know, and then I went back to a save immediately before I finished it, and I'm just mining for more content. Like there's just so many interesting things in the world that I it's the only RPG that I can remember playing that I actually want to see everything in it. Like Oblivion. Like, no offense to anyone who worked on that game, but I played enough
mainly
of it.
people who also worked on Fallout 3, so it's okay.
Right.
Because now they're awesome. So.
Yeah, but
now, but you know, before you were on the fence.
But I have to say, Oblivion was one of the games that I really respected. I just didn't personally get into it.
But by some point in playing Oblivion, I did play it for a long time. I put like 50 hours into that game. Probably.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like, I felt like I had kind of gotten the point, you know, and I hadn't done hardly any of like the guild quests or anything. I just did kind of most of the Dark Brotherhood and some other stuff, and then I was kind of like, I think I get it. But you know, with Fallout 3, it's like each granular little piece of content is interesting, of its own accord. So it's a great world to explore.
Yep,
totally, man.
Exploration. Exploring.
Hot scoops.
Do you guys like exploring?
I would explore a video game world.
More of an adventure fan.
Oh, really?
You like to adventure?
I like to venture out.
Yeah. I like things that are visceral. Do you guys like that?
Yeah. Immersive.
I like immersive too. I like when games take it to the next level. That's kind of my favorite.
Well, I don't know. I like
when they blow me away.
Right. See, that's what I was going to say. I like being blown away.
It will blow you away.
I like taking it to the next level more than getting blown away. I like that verticality.
I like being blown away because it means that there's guns.
Oh, well said.
And I do like guns.
That's true.
Yeah. Thanks.
Signed, journalist.
The internet.
The internet.
It's a web.
P.S. Hot scoops.
Unfortunately, that is the only thing I've been playing for like the last, 2 or 3 weeks
same here.
since it came out.
Yeah. My time has been about 2/3 Fallout 3, 1/3 Far Cry.
Yeah.
2.
Much like this podcast.
Much like this podcast.
So,
Zing, zong, zang.
Have either of you guys been playing something that's not
new stuff?
Fallout 3? Anything. I don't know.
I've been playing just a lot of random stuff.
I played some Left 4 Dead demo.
Oh, I played Left 4 Dead demo as well.
Well, I mean, we've talked about that.
Last week,
Oh, shit. I wasn't here. Left 4 Dead. Kind of sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
What about you, Nick? You were going to say something interesting, I could tell.
Oh, not really. Played some games.
I can talk.
Played World of Goo.
Yeah.
World of Goo is really good. I think you should. We talked about it before. But
so you pirated it.
Well, you've actually.
I got the idea from the art. You know, it's like, you can pirate this game.
Have a good idea.
It's actually the piracy story is actually the thing that finally made me pick up World of Goo.
So sad.
Oh,
what?
Man.
I've been.
I guess it's a good.
And then I'm a whatever.
It's a good byproduct.
I'm a fucking video game consumer. I'd been meaning to play World of Goo forever.
I did the same thing. Yeah.
And then it's World of Goo pirated. Everyone wants to play World of Goo. I was like, oh yeah. I remember World of Goo.
I didn't technically buy it though. I got it free on Steam, but
ooh, that's
I bought
piracy.
it on Steam.
Yeah, it is like piracy.
Did someone what?
I just got a press pass this week, so I've been basically playing like every game off the Steam list.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
I paid for it over their website, which uses the PayPal.
You can use PayPal on Steam.
That's nice. But something has happened to my PayPal account where all payments take 5 to 7 days to process. So I was like, sweet, I'm going to play World of Goo this week. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. Oh.
Oh,
Maybe I'll wait till
So wait,
my payment clears.
you can only buy World of Goo from their website with PayPal?
Yeah, well, if you have a credit card, you can enter that into PayPal.
Oh, I see.
But apparently, my credit card was entered into some PayPal account that I haven't touched in like 3 years, so I can't just directly enter that, nor can I use my regular PayPal account.
Sweet.
The ordeals of PayPal here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, what I was going to say about Left 4 Dead. I've been playing that game.
Speaking of
3
video
games before, yeah.
Sorry, it was one game before, but
Okay.
We've been playing that at work a decent amount.
Yeah.
The demo, and I don't know if like we've been finding it pretty fun, and also on the hardest difficulty, fairly difficult. Like fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there were 4 of us who'd put in a couple hours total, and we're finally like, okay, we've played through this on advanced or whatever enough.
Yeah.
Let's ratchet it up to expert and see what happens. Obviously, we were raped in half a million times.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I've been doing that all weekend, just
then-
getting raped in half. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been able to find the
through
game.
the pants.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to find the game challenging at all unless it's on expert. Like
that's because you're probably
Yeah.
good at games.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm playing with.
Well, yeah, I
other
mean,
people at
we
work,
were able to compete or to complete the demo consistently every time, and we were just playing
See,
it through because
it's really
it was
weird
fun to play through.
Because when I played it at Valve, like expert was not that. We never had that much of a problem on expert, and maybe it's partially because we had such good communication playing in a LAN setting.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, with people over the internet, expert's fucking impossible sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah, I mean, it depends who you're playing with, I guess.
I think that's part of it. Actually, I think how
Yeah.
One of the people on our design team was like a champion CPL player and,
Oh, wow.
and stuff. So I guess she helped.
That's hilarious.
somewhat.
Yeah. The thing that made me sad and also made me have a sort of realization about how I play video games is we were playing this and like 4 of us in the office had just been destroyed for like 2 hours trying to get through this thing. Like we didn't actually, because I don't think any of us are really that like big first-person shooter gamers other than sort of casual play. But we were all sort of gathered around one guy's desk afterwards, going, "Oh, that was really fucking hard. That was really fun." And then a programmer saunters out of his office and is like, "You guys playing Left 4 Dead?" That's a great game, but the one thing about it is it's so stupidly easy. Like it's, I can't understand. It was like, what easy? We were just 4 of us couldn't get through like 1.5 like level encounter.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? You just if the horde comes at you on expert, you just get into a corner, pull out a gun, and just melee attack. And the way it's timed, there's like a glitch in the timing, so they won't be able to attack you. You can just knock them off every single time. And it's like,
That's true. That does mean that the game is stupidly easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Not that you found an awesome exploit.
yeah. It's like I know though.
Let's intentionally
like,
design this exploit into the game so that it's stupid.
well, yeah. He's like, I hope they patch it out because the game's just too
Stupid.
easy right now. And
If I do this one thing every time.
I think there's a lot of people for whom that's like how they play a first-person shooter game. That's like what a lot of people consider. I've mastered this first-person shooter game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know that.
I think that comes.
I know
from,
that I've heard a lot of feedback from people who played the original Bioshock in really like sort of counterintuitive ways to me anyway, like just running up to a Big Daddy with a wrench and taking 5 hit
Yeah,
points
the
off
wrench
him.
thing.
But and then dying and coming back out and just basically doing a Vita Chamber loop
Using the
of,
chambers,
of like,
That's
I
retarded.
got 10 hit points
Right.
off of him, died, 10 more hit points,
That's
died.
so
and
stupid.
A lot of
they thought-
gamers are stupid. Like
well,
they
no, but I
will
mean,
do
the
things
thing
like that,
is,
just like
that's,
over and
that's
over.
a completely valid strategy considering
It's
the
valid, but it
dynamics of
can't
the
be
game.
fun.
Yeah, like how is
exactly.
that fun?
Well, yeah,
And it's not fun, but yeah, I think that some people, it's easy or straightforward, or it's what is clearly working on some level. And since the game allows it to happen, it's on design's plate to not let the
to work
player
out,
right.
make
Sure.
the game unfun in a valid way.
right,
you
but
know?
people will go out of their way to do it if they
Yeah.
can. But
That and the thing is that I think in Left 4 Dead it's different just because that sounds like a 100% tuning bug exploit thing that wasn't intended.
right.
Whereas in Bioshock Design, that's just something you can do. You know.
Have you guys heard that particular complaint
No,
issued on the
Left
internet
4 Dead
before?
is super easy.
Well, I've
Well,
heard
just-
it's easy, but I've not heard what you described.
Because I mean,
No, yeah, because
I
I mean, you can obviously keep mailing, but when I do that, I always die.
Like,
I mean, like they're
I'm always so surprised whenever I go to PAX and go to the BYOC floor, or the time that I went to QuakeCon, to watch how like the majority of hardcore first person people play first person shooters is so different than how I play them. Like
Really?
yeah,
Like what
I
is the way that other people are playing?
like people just do crazy shit.
yeah.
But like what? Give me an example.
I can't
What
even.
is something that you
I mean,
saw
the
that
most
was crazy?
extreme example, and it's different
just
because
shit.
it's a
That's crazy.
yeah. The actual thing that was the problem was, I would open the door to a BYOC area and I was drowned in hot scoops. It was gross.
It sounds pretty gross.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sweet.
You were in a thing and somebody did something crazy in FPS. Do you have any recollection of it all?
I think I know what you mean. But
I mean, like when I play Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
I play by what sort of like it's a little bit of me sort of internally doing. Okay, I'm in a zombie movie.
Yeah.
These are the rules that I should be playing by. This is probably what the designers intended it to be. And then I turn around and this other guy's like, "This is easy. Go, go, go." He's just pistol whipping a guy over and over again. It's like I would never like the way that I would play that game, just because I sort of there's an internal like suspension of disbelief when I play. But then I go and I like. Partly, I guess, in BYOC areas, it's way more. There's competitive multiplayer stuff. But
Well, that's also like the most filtered. Like
I know,
you know,
but it's surprising to me that and those are presumably the sort of loudest, most extreme voices in this community are the people who will turn off every single texture, find every single exploit that they possibly can, and do anything they can just to make it so they can get through the game quicker.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean about. I kind of unintentionally, like I think, just unconsciously try to play games right. You know, like sort of like try to fit my experience into the intent, the one that seems to be intended by the premise.
It's
or
not
whatever.
like it's not an active goal of mine, but it's
it just happens.
I feel like I experience suspension of disbelief when playing a single player game like that.
And it's not multi.
See, I have I found exploits before and used them to get through a game, if only because that game I knew I would never complete it otherwise. You know, like if it was that hard,
right? But like if I'm enjoying an experience,
but if I'm enjoying it to begin with,
I don't
I'm
go
not
out of my way to
do that.
subvert it to like make myself do better.
BioShock definitely was an extreme example of that, and then also like Valve's recent games where it's like, the hell bullshit game is this? I got through that whole game in like 2 hours, and it's like, what? Like, were you literally trying to speedrun it your first time through? Like, is that actually how? Like,
the answer is yes.
I mean, yeah, but it's just weird because that's so different.
Yeah,
like
I don't
it would never occur to me.
Show me a challenge, Valve.
Yeah.
I don't understand people who on their first playthrough are basically just trying to make
like
Portal
subjugate
be an
the
hour
game,
and a half,
just like
like,
dominate it. Like
Yeah.
I can kind of understand where it's coming from in a way, just because it's sort of how I accidentally play adventure games at this point. I mean, I'm sure anyone who's played
just seeing through them, basically.
Yeah, where it's like I can't see through Left 4 Dead, but if you play a lot of graphic adventure games, which are kind of like linear FPSs, just very like there's a really set language and a really set amount of cues, or like or if you play a lot of multiplayer FPSs, I'm sure you can just look at it and go, and it's like the Matrix where you just know like, oh well, obviously this is a stupid 3 subquest fetch thing where I have to do this type of manipulation.
How about, actually, you know what? That ties into a question a guy had. Oh. So why don't we go right into reader mail?
Hey, reader mail.
So Pete Fairhurst.
Throw some reader mail in there.
Yeah, look at that. This is such a clean segue. This is great.
Incredible.
We're even talking about it. It's so clean.
Yeah.
Calling it out.
Look at that. No hot scoops here.
Reader mail.
Pete Fairhurst.
Thanks for that segue, guys. Good work.
Pete Fairhurst writes, there's a lot of bitching and moaning about two particular game design choices in Fallout 3. Whoa. One, the constant postman quests being the only thing that drives the narrative, and two, the crafting system seems almost completely redundant. He writes, from my own perspective, I've been playing the game for about 7-8 hours, and I can't understand why people have a problem with the quest system largely about going from point A to point B, then maybe back again or off to somewhere entirely new. Similarly, while I haven't crafted anything yet, I enjoy stumbling across, for example, a raider encampment having an exciting battle, then rummaging through all the junk they've collected. Given both of these things, the postman quest and the crafting system, isn't the whole point of a role-playing game to go roaming around a huge, interesting world, discovering things, finding treasures, and killing monsters? What I would like to know is, do you guys agree or disagree with Fallout 3's game design choices, specifically with the way it drives the story forwards, and explain why? Thanks very much. Love to you all. Kiss, kiss, plus some inappropriate touching.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was great.
Wait, which one of us got touched?
All of us, I think.
It was like a hand
came
orgy.
out of
each of our microphones and touched us.
Maybe sprinkled some hot scoops.
Why?
Some sort of palpation.
hot scoops. Yeah. So
I know one guy who agrees.
Well, no, that was semi-facetious. But my real question is just kind of like, I don't exactly know what the alternative is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, is it like, when it comes right down to it, I cannot really think of even the best RPG quest that has been anything more than a very simple goal, like go here, pick up this thing, and bring it back, or kill this guy.
Yeah.
What about that one where you kill a guy and then bring something that he has back?
That often happens.
The one where you sort of like go along with the guy and protect him.
Oh, an escort quest.
No, I'm just
worst
talking about
quest of all.
Yeah.
So
follow me over here.
So yeah, my point being, I can't really think of an example of like. All the examples of good quests that I can think of are those with really, really good supporting material.
I'm sure the quest structure is basically pretty much fundamentally the same, but when people tell me to go from point A to point B, I like point A, I like point B, and I like the stuff in between those
Show
points.
me something new, Fallout 3. I'm waiting to be impressed. Idle Thumbs forums.
Dude, it had guns. They added that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Man,
like,
people should just shut up.
my favorite quest I can think of, if you tear them all the way down to basically what are you doing to progress the world state, it's like, I've entered a trigger volume, or touched an object, or made a guy not be alive anymore. Like,
or touched your heart.
Your quest is to touch your own heart with VATS. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what?
Oh man, I saw.
Do you guys have alternatives? Can you think of anything where
well,
it's like
there are quests that are like
don't involve
like,
walking? I mean,
I don't know.
like, is that what we're talking about? Just like,
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
there are quests that a lot of times you have quests that exist entirely within a fairly small space.
Yeah, I mean,
that
the one
require
I'm
you to go from person to person to person, and it's not enough traveling that I would consider it a point A to point B quest.
Right.
It's more like the order in which
the virtual reality quest is the one I keep thinking of.
Yeah, that's
actual spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to keep it vague, but yeah.
Right. So there is a quest in Fallout 3 that's essentially like a weird little
dance.
Well, like an adventure game room kind of, or
really is.
I like what I'm hearing.
It's it's basically like a chunk of an adventure game, kind of like
where you sort of slide the piece of paper under the door, and then you poke the pencil through the lock to knock the key out, and then you pull the piece of paper back and it has the key in it, and then you can unlock the door.
I mean,
that's what I'm talking about.
You actually have to create a mustache that you wear.
Out of syrup.
Oh,
and
some syrup and scotch tape on a hole.
You make a mold of it, a plaster mold.
Yeah, when the cat runs through, you can get the hair,
which unlocks the door.
No, you feed the birds and they fly away.
No, we're talking about real adventure games, not this bullshit hypothetical adventure game.
Gabriel Knight 3, please,
and every adventure game.
Yeah, but it's sort of like in your classic adventure game where sort of the point in Monkey Island where they tell you to get 3 things, kind of, it's the space between being told to get 3 things and actually getting them, and there's some puzzles in between, like whatever. And it's interesting because it is a little self-contained sort of, I guess, kind of dialogue option puzzle for the most part.
So that's something new, an adventure game 3 subquest puzzle.
Yeah, but that said, it is.
But it's not a point A to point B
thing,
really. Yeah,
it's like we can only do that because we literally cut it off from the rest of the game.
Right.
This
it's
cannot
very
exist as anything but its own weird pocket universe.
Yeah.
And then you go back.
There's actually something there's also a puzzle in there that's basically missed.
Yeah.
Like there's an extreme missed callback in that.
You listen to animal sounds or something?
Very close to that.
Close. In fact, the answer could be yes.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out to me that little tune that a bird out in the park is actually chirping it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like the sound that comes out of
ruining this puzzle for somebody.
Well, whatever. It's a super mist sounding. Like the bird has heard this song.
And there's something else. It's like there's a tone that comes over like the radio or something between songs or something like that. And it's like the tune you have to match is just sort of woven into the environment. I didn't even realize it. Somebody else told me.
That's pretty cool. I don't know. It's like a video game.
So and that said, that is on the main quest line. It's actually it's one of the main gating mechanisms.
The main things.
And now you can get past that part.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what's
all the best.
I think that bitching about that is less like that you have to go places and kill dudes is less interesting to me than noting that it does give you way more freedom to explore the world and advance events than most RPGs do. Like, speaking of that quest, you can just go find Dad by accident. Right. It's like your first quest is go find Dad, and there's like 8, or 6 or whatever main quests in between you and that.
But you could go straight there,
or you can just walk find him, and it's like. Yeah, that's super interesting.
Yeah,
like we aren't going to put bullshit in between you. Like you have to go along this one thread to get there, and we're gonna like put a magical key,
like a gate, like a trigger. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like they had the mechanism in the game where the door that Dad is behind could have totally been like, you need a key for this door, and they didn't. They were
only
like,
one man has that, and then you have to go through 4 intermediates.
But as we were discussing the week when this game came out. Like, you can blow up Megaton before anyone gives you your first clue about where your dad is.
Yep.
Like, you can just, those quest NPCs can be gone. And at that point, I presumably would be up to you just to find him. Which is fascinating. Yeah. Like, that's, I think, really cool. Also, as far as the A to B stuff goes, there are maybe not so much on the main quest, but there are a lot of quests in Fallout 3 that it's up to you which point you go to. And like, I've found quests, sort of like what you described with the main one. Like, I found quests where I accidentally ran into an NPC that allowed me to complete a quest a totally different way than the quest giver was. And it was literally just in the middle of the desert. I found this person who was like, by the way, it seems like you're looking for this thing. And I ended up completing the quest not in the way I intended to at all.
And the other thing is, like, just within that point A to B thing, I mean, you're also finding a lot. I mean, there are a lot of points where you clearly have an option of either going on to B or stopping and doing, like, A1. You know what I mean? Like,
there are even times you can just lie to people and say you went to point B.
Exactly,
Like, they don't even know.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, and the thing, I think that it's actually really enjoyable, especially early on before you've scouted a lot of the world, that getting to point B is usually, in some cases, really meaningful. Like, if point B is in the heart of downtown DC, like, good fucking luck. Like, by the time you get there, you're going to have been through a fucking ordeal. You're going to feel like you actually accomplished something by getting to B.
It feels more abstract in a way. Like, I mean, they're just, like, you're over here, and there's all this shit.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to try and make a beeline there. Oh, there's a giant wall
half the...
of nice, good, me, of rubble, and now I have to, like, actually chart a course. Oh, no, faces. People on the internet can't see your fucking face.
If they could, they would not listen anymore. Wow. Why just with that one face? With like the pointing hands?
So yeah, I guess at a certain point when you can fast travel to any relevant place on the map, it feels more rote, but early on it's actually an accompliment. To go from point A to B, which I thought was really satisfying.
And a lot of times you don't even remember, like, what you're doing. Like, you're like going to B, you just sort of like, wow, look at that, there's the fucking Washington Monument.
And then you get there and you're like, oh yeah, find you. What's up, guy?
You're running around and it's just like, oh, radio signal from somewhere.
I mean, that's what happened to me with what I was describing about running into the person in the desert. Like, I had just started to kind of wander off my own and find other shit. I found like 8 other places that have nothing to do with anything. And then I just so happened to come across this person in a totally separate part of the map than where the quest was directing me to go.
Yeah. And I've totally just started quest backwards. Like, I find a dude locked in a jail cell and let him out, and it's like, quest begun, rescue that dude. Like, sweet. It's really cool.
Might there be a dude who would offer a reward for your release?
He's already out of here. He's long gone.
Anyway,
so
we should
they're kind of better questions than why do I have to shoot so many brains to advance this quest? Right, whatever.
I'm baking a pie. I need 8 warthog hearts. It'd be pretty sweet if you could hook me up, buddy. Yeah.
Don't call me buddy.
I won't.
Okay, thank you.
Quest.
No problem.
So let's move on to the Far Cry question.
There's a moratorium.
Yeah. Games discussed this week. We got Left 4 Dead in there. We got
Fallout 3.
Illbleed.
We didn't talk about Far Cry 2, so that's good.
You'll shit with
Did we?
fear.
I don't think we did.
We didn't.
You'll puke with pleasure. You'll vomit with excitement.
just throwing this out and nobody's gonna know what the hell that is.
Yeah, no one knows. Whatever. All right.
No, please.
But we're supposed to talk about it. We didn't talk about it yet.
There are only 2 options.
There is only one option. Go to youtube.com and type in Illbleed trailer. And be pleased with your life.
Specifically,
send us questions.
Second trailer.
Yeah, Illbleed's second trailer.
You'll shit with fear.
Illbleed is one word also.
This is real.
It's an amazing thing that's better than the game itself, but it's an amazing artifact of the final days of Sega and their Dreamcast and everything, where they went completely insane
and made a video game.
And seemingly released an official trailer that was just an American voice actor reading the like bad English
Terrible
Japanese copy from some guy at Sega Japan,
including Who Wants to Be a Millionaire references and Sixth Sense references.
That is your final answer.
That seems like that was added, but like, what is your excuse for maximum strain, maximum bleeding? What?
You'll vomit with pleasure.
That's never a thing will ever happen in my life.
You'll vomit
I will
with
never.
Excitement.
I thought it was vomit with pleasure.
You'll puke with pleasure.
Oh, puke with pleasure.
You'll shit with fear. Like that's it's an official Sega trailer that was released with the word shit in it. You'll shit with fear.
You'll shit hot scoops.
All right.
So anyway, YouTube.com.
YouTube.
Make the YouTube happen. Turn it into a ringtone for your iPod.
Wasn't really reader mail related, but we'll throw in a question. We'll make up a question and edit it.
Greg Labs writes, "What do you guys think about the Illbleed trailer?"
You'll shit with fear.
What he actually writes is, "Whoa, break things in Chris's apartment. 6 mission accomplished.
6 mission. I'll make sure that this doesn't fall apart before the podcast ends. I'm sorry that I broke your chair.
Oh, you actually broke it?
It the leg a little bit.
Oh shit!
I'm sorry.
Oh well, whatever.
Greg.
I was pushing it backwards and it like twisted a little bit.
Don't push it backwards. You're making a mess. Okay. In show 2, Chris talked briefly about how he thought cross-platform multiplayer support in Shadowrun was absurd. I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts about why that is. How far does this go? Do you not like it because of the disparity of controllers? Would you support the feature if you could opt in to play with people on their own console, or should it never be there? Does the genre matter? A first-person shooter might be dependent, but what if it were a sports game or racing game, or a lot of PC users use a gamepad anyway? Would you extend your dislike of cross-platform multiplayer to cross-platform indirect competition, such as leaderboards for things like time trials? Greg Labs, Overload UT.
Did he write it that fast?
I don't know, Steve. Like, we can. Why don't Greg? If you wrote it that fast, please email us back. I can't discern the speed of his typing from.
So the core question was, "Hey Chris, why don't you like cross-platform?" Shadowrun. I
don't remember what I said exactly, but I definitely didn't like it in the case of Shadowrun because as a first-person shooter, to try to make it a relatively even playing field, they had to do ridiculous things, like the swim on the aiming with the. I played that game on PC, and the swim on the mouse aiming is out of control. I mean, if you have a sniper rifle, it's just janking all over the place, and it's not.
That can't be perfectly balanced ever.
Exactly,
I mean, they'll never get to a point where that's like.
I still felt like I was headshotting the shit out of people because you can still compensate for that a bit. It felt like it made it annoying for me, and yet I was still at an advantage. So I mean, that was like the worst of all worlds. It was unbalanced and irritating. And then Sega came out with Universe at War, which is a real-time strategy game that has cross-platform via Games for Windows Live. That seems like an even worse genre to do that with. Like, I don't know. I mean,
watch pro StarCraft players and then try and do that on
and then hand them an Xbox controller.
Yeah, right.
Like, I suspect that sports games, as he notes, that would probably be the most resistant to. I mean.
Or racing. Yeah. Racing is a decent example. Yeah,
racing, fine. Like, I don't think
they're both playing with crazy wheel attachments.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the case of those genres, I wouldn't really mind. But in the case of anything that's sort of Twitch-oriented or like reaction-dependent.
Basically anything that originated.
Jake is busting up over here over his reference to wheels.
Sorry, it was actually that Nick was silently laughing at himself like out of his chair, at the concept of people buying steering wheel peripherals.
It kind of seems like anything that was sort of native to the PC before it went console is kind of impossible to have a fair competition.
Like a mud, you probably wouldn't want.
You could use the little attachment on the Xbox 360 keyboard.
I would not
You'd be at a disadvantage.
I would not want to play multiplayer Space War.
Competitive mudding.
Against an Xbox PC.
What about Mule? Would you want cross-platform Mule?
Dropping hot scoops.
I never actually played Mule. Has anyone here actually played Mule?
What? No.
Note that you were the one saying what.
Kicking us all off the podcast. We don't deserve to be on a podcast.
So no one here has played Mule?
No one's played Mule.
Okay, I just know of it as being,
There's a Mule.
Very, very well-renowned, but it was kind of before my time, and I've never caught up with it.
Yeah.
Please let us know about Mule. Questions.
How douchebaggy we are for not having played it. How can we call ourselves gamers? That's what I want to know. Moving on, Tim Hampton writes, "Hey guys, another Australian listener here, this time from Adelaide, same city of Australia that is home to Chrome Studios, makers of such hit games as Forced Unleashed, in parentheses, on PSP, Viva Pinata, in parentheses, Party Animals, and Hellboy. My question is more of a discussion piece. With the upcoming NXE, it would be safe to say Microsoft is primarily trying to target...
what's that stand for?
NXE.
It's the NXE Xbox experience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
It would be safe to say Microsoft is primarily trying to target the Wii demographic, bringing gamers across to the 360 with the use of avatars on what other system, and family-friendly ad campaigns. Now, the curious thing to me is that right now, Xbox Live mostly consists of loud, racist, obnoxious Americans. So what is going to happen?
I'm in the family sphere. I don't get any of that.
I get a lot of it, and I'm in the happy fun time, don't mess with me sphere.
I'm in the underground sphere.
So what's going to happen when these two very different personalities start interacting online? while there are different family settings and 4 different zones when going online, I doubt most families that buy a 360 over a Wii due to the NXE campaign will really be able to prepare themselves for when their 10-year-old for when your 10-year-old gets told he's about to be face raped by a deep-voiced man who is teabagging him in Halo 3. So,
I like the imagery there.
Keep up the good show, Tim Hampton.
It basically was.
Yeah.
What? So, do we
kids
really,
already own 360s, right?
Well, do we really picture this theoretical person who buys a 360 over a Wii for the new Xbox experience?
I think the NXE.
I think the price has more to do with it than anything. I mean,
it's you can finally get a 360 for $200, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's of course a hobbled 360,
right? But
I mean, the Wii has so much like mainstream buzz about it. Like people who don't know about video games know that Wii is supposed to be fun.
That Wii,
but I wouldn't really expect those same people to have consciousness of the 360 at least on the same level.
I feel like if you're buying a 360 for Christmas this summer instead of a Wii as a parent for Christmas this summer, what am I talking about?
It's Christmas in July.
It's Christmas in July
during the break.
Cocoa Puffs.
We made
let's go to the beach.
Slam a bunch of PCP.
Yeah, I was beat up during the break. No, sorry. If you
candy for breakfast.
You thought about that one for a while. They were like, wait a minute.
No, sorry. Like, I feel like
I did say
it's
all right.
I don't know enough to be speaking, but I feel like if you're the sort of
get out of here.
If you're the sort of parent who would be considering buying a Wii for Christmas this Christmas, there you go, guys. You're probably gonna buy a Wii. I don't know.
But avatars.
That's true. It does have
on what other system?
I feel like there's going to be there's going to be one more educated family member in your family who is either a parent who knows what they're getting themselves into, or a kid who has gone out of their way to sell their parents on it. Yeah, I don't feel like moms who are looking to buy their kid the new video game system are going to be swayed by the NXE ad campaign.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sort of feel like that's what's being implied in this in this letter. I think kind of the flaw in the question is that the new Xbox experience really doesn't seem that much like it's trying to pull prospective Wii owners as much as it's like pulling on iPod users or doesn't it because its interface is hella like iTunes or whatever with the whole
I think friends list is like Wii-tastic.
Well, but more than I'm trying to steal the audience from the Wii, I think it's kind of like when
new people
competing.
who aren't yet
it's like
we have that feature too.
It's like how Microsoft Windows always pulls features from the Macintosh, but that's not because Microsoft is trying to take Apple customers necessarily. It's because
they're trying to take more customers by using
they're great at looking at what other people have done well and then investing 8 million times the money that the initial investment like Nintendo made on Mii is clearly Microsoft, I would imagine, has spent more, I don't
know. I mean, the avatars don't even seem like the most significant part of it.
That's the other thing.
It seems like the more significant part is the whole
the focus on online?
Well, the as far as interface and features and stuff, the whole I don't even know what it's called because I don't use Apple stuff very much. But how you can have a bunch of pictures and
the cover flow thing.
What's it called? Cover flow.
Cover flows.
Yeah. So it looks like all of your games and demos and movies and shit that you have on your Xbox use that whole system, and it's got the gradient gray silver background behind it and everything.
But the thing that is doing a lot the avatars are sort of the sort of surface level takeaway thing. It's like, oh, that looks like the Wii, but the NXE thing is so much about your media library management, acquiring content through the internet, and none of that stuff is on the Wii at all. I mean, there's the Wii Shop channel and there's the Wii front page. Yeah,
but that's what makes me think they're trying to appeal most to people who like iTunes and having all their movies on their computer.
I don't even know if they're trying to appeal to them so much as I think they're probably operating under the assumption that that's just Western audiences an expectation in a piece of digital hardware.
Well, Microsoft and Sony, the reason Microsoft is much more focused on Sony and always have been is that those two companies for years now have felt they're kind of locked in a battle for to be the entertainment center of people's lives.
Right.
That's what both of them are trying to lock down for the next decade. Yeah. Or whatever. So moving on, I guess we got the first in a new ongoing series, of segments every week here on the Idle Thumbs. And it was inspired by Nick's Xbox 360 problems that he detailed on last week's show. Mm-hmm. So just rolling right into this.
Icebox's Tech Corner.
So last week, Nick described how his Xbox red ringed, except it only had 2 rings or 2 segments of the ring.
Yeah, it was an aborted ring.
So you can't get Microsoft to fix that, and you can't use it yourself because it's goddamn broken.
Right.
So, our hardware expert, Griff Icebox Rousseau, is going to lay it out for you here. He says, depending on how long you've had your Xbox, it may be an unhealthy intake of dust. The 2 red rings mean your system is overheating, most likely due to an excess of silt and particles. It's not entirely clear how you would change it to 3 red rings to fix the problem naturally, but this is what I would recommend. 1. Turn it off and unplug it for at least a day. This will allow it to cool down and potentially allow the dust to settle. 2. When turning it back on, give the ventilation fan a literal ton of room. 3. Opening the Xbox itself to clean out the dust, he would not recommend that. That will void your warranty, and when your system does get its 3 rings, Microsoft still won't replace it. Instead, you could try cleaning the fan vent and the disk tray, because they might introduce dust into the system. 4. If all goes well, you've got it running. At that point, hope for the best. But, he says, he would recommend a way to fake the 3 because Microsoft would probably shoot it down anyway.
I will use those tips as soon as my Xbox has 2 rings.
So to
I
wrap,
was actually excited to hear that information. So.
yeah, it's
It
good
sounds
information.
useful to me.
So to wrap up our
haven't
show
installed
this
my
week,
Microsoft.
we received a deluge of contest ideas, which were really good, actually. Thanks a lot to our readers for sending in a ton of suggestions, actually.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah.
As we mentioned last week, we have a huge stack of ridiculous games, and we didn't know how to give them away. So
Did we name off of any of them?
We've named some of them.
Like a greatest hits kind of thing.
It keeps growing every week. So this
National
week we
Geographic
added
Panda?
Yeah, we added National Geographic Panda for DS. We added Star Ocean First Departure for PSP.
Now they're
we
excited.
got a set of I'm a Disney Gamer stickers.
Yeah, the cream of the crop there.
So top of the pile.
A lot of stuff. I think we've mentioned before PS3 Bioshock, World of Conflict on PC, some other stuff. There's a whole box here of all the EverQuest
Spider-Man
stuff,
Web
including
of
the latest,
Shadows.
Tales of
Spider-Man.
Symphonia for Wii, the new one. So anyway, we got a lot of contest suggestions. Thanks, guys. Actually, our the winning suggestions came from our tech writer, Icebox. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So these contest suggestions that are
So
that are in
contest
fact
the
great.
winning contest suggestions from the attractive and intelligent Griff Icebox Rousseau. Basically, what we're hoping you guys will do, and this is asking a lot, so we've got an alternate contest you can enter. The primary
Also care of Icebox.
also care of Icebox.
Yes.
The primary
Well, wait. So Icebox gets a gift for
Yeah.
Icebox gets a gift for just being the suggester.
Suggesting a contest was our secret first contest.
Right.
So
There were probably a couple dozen contest people who wrote in to suggest contests, and we thought those guys were the winning ones. So he will get some prizes. We'll contact him and figure out how to do that. But basically, we would like you to try to create a LittleBigPlanet level, ideally one somehow Idle Thumbs themed. I don't know what that means, but
I do.
take that anywhere
It
you
involves
like.
Ultra Boost.
Ribs.
It involves Ultra Boost. Well,
It involves
God.
compy ribs. It involves
yeah,
hot scoops.
certainly lots of hot scoops
if
going
you
on.
make a level that involves someone dropping a hot scoop,
That would be pretty amazing.
I mean, I think LittleBigPlanet has hot scoop support,
no.
so you can call it Idle Thumbs. People are looking at me with incredulous faces.
I thought you meant it.
you can feel free to call your thing Idle Thumbs. Please call it Idle Thumbs.
Please call it Gears of War 2.
All right. Anyway, so if you actually make a level, I don't know how people would go about getting it to us, but you can send the name of your level and your username to questions@idlethumbs.net.
You can send us a YouTube video that's been featured on the front page, so we get millions of new listeners.
Right. If you do put it on YouTube, maybe put a link to Idle Thumbs.
Fancy.
If you make a level that is just our URL and maybe some cat noises,
Like
that's
an
pretty much
honorable
guaranteed
mention,
win.
like pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, if
You're
that's
giving
too much
these guys
work,
too
or if
many
you
good
don't,
ideas.
if you don't have a PS3, you can,
Or if you don't want to make a
or if you don't want to make it a
level.
LittleBigPlanet level, you can submit ideas for new Ultra Boost flavors. As you may remember from, I think it was our second or third
One of those.
episode, I don't know, one of our early episodes. We're sponsored by Ultra Boost. It's an extreme gaming nourishment brand with flavors. I don't even remember what they were.
There was German board game, Xbox Live Arcade port.
Strategy
Churro.
chocolate.
Yeah. No, Strategy Chocolate.
No,
That's competitor, man.
That's Gamer Grub.
Gamer Grub.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about
This is
Ultra Boost
Ultra
for like
Boost.
Oh, we're
Monster
talking about
Boost.
Ultra Boost specifically.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you want to submit new flavors for Ultra Boost, new extreme flavors, you can send those in to questions@idlethumbs.net. And if you
And we will eat them live.
if you're one of the most extreme.
The best and the brightest Ultra Boost flavors.
Yeah, you might get some too.
You too will win Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Yeah,
go to idlethumbs.net and you can listen to the Ultra Boost.
You can download the ad directly in our music
to get some inspiration, so that you won't overlap. If you know it's already taken, you won't come up with German board game, Xbox Live Arcade, port, churro. Yeah. It's been done.
That one's taken.
Let's wrap this up. So
how many games are we going to give away?
We have like 23 or 24 games here to give away,
and 3 Disney Gamer stickers.
Yeah. Also, we have some. We have the original soundtrack to Anarchy Online, the only real sci-fi MMO, as according to design expert Steve Gaynor.
Whoa, hey buddy, don't put that on me.
You said it live on the internet.
Yeah. I am not an MMO expert.
An MMOX?
I'm not an
All right, let's finish this up.
Guy, not an MMO expert.
So yeah, to wrap that up, basically, if you make a cool Idle Thumbs themed Little Big Planet level, you're one of the people who does it, seems to do a decent job of it, you will get first pick as to what games you get for free, courtesy us.
Alternatively, if you're the only person who submits a Little Big Planet level,
you might get a bunch of games. So you might get many video games. Alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you can send us new Ultra Boost flavors, and you will get free stuff too if you're one of the better ones. So all submissions should be directed. Yeah, all submissions should be directed to questions@idlethumbs.net, and that's our show for this week.
Feel free to share your submissions on the Idle Thumbs forums at idlethumbs.net/forums.
Yep, or forums.idlethumbs.net.
Or idlethumbs.com, which is finally back.
Finally back. As is strategychocolate.biz and videogames.com. Our website can be accessed through any of these myriad URLs.
Is this in fact true?
Yes. These
Holy
are all true.
shit.
We would never lie to you.
That's amazing.
Our loyal readers. Also...
Because I've been going to vgvgvg.com for a while and just never brings anything
Well, that's
back.
the acronym. We don't have that one.
Yeah.
I know, but
that's owned by
it.
VG Cats.
Probably not.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it is. If you wish to buy vgvgvg.com and point it to idlethumbs.net, you also will win the contest. One final note, the other now current Idle Thumbs guys in the UK are starting up their own crazy audio extravaganza, and they did a sort of one-off special at the Eurogamer Expo, and we've posted that on the front page of idlethumbs.net. So if you want to check that out, you should.
Our sister site across the pond.
Our sister site, Idle Thumbs.
Of the
also same site, different people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our
Cool
sisters,
guys.
basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Enjoy their podcast.
Our sisters who are hot have posted a pod.
Incestual relationship, really.
And they're casting a pod into your face as well.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night. Good luck. Yeah.
Video games. God damn it. Oh, no, it broke it. Oh, fuck. It's truly broken.
I told you.
Oh my god.
Sorry. It was held together by hot glue.
I was held together by hot scoops.
Oh, man.
Oh, snap. So, also, one last thing. We are going to not have an episode for you next week. Chris, will be in Montreal for the Montreal International Game Summit. And
I'll be sleeping.
Jake will be sleeping. And, Nick will be
doing what I do.
Doing what he does. So that gives you guys 2 weeks to make amazing Little Big Planet levels. We expect one from all of you.
Yep.
All right. See you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, snap.